How's it going, guys? So we are 2 days out from starting up our robot feeding system. And if you saw the last video, we had to temporarily push this elevator into the feed mixing station so we can catch the silage coming out of one conveyor and the triticale coming out of another just for the weekend. It's working out pretty well. Fed 2 times this way now. I'll have to show you how that's going this afternoon when we feed again. Today's Saturday. We just have a couple little details we want to make sure are straightened out so we're ready to start up on Monday. I want to run a couple of these bin motors that we just got grain put in yesterday. I have one more camera wire I need to pull through there. I want to zip tie those to the conduit. I'd like to mount this monitor a little bit better so we can see the silo unloaders. And then the other thing we want to do is load up our hay box. Took this forage wagon, flipped the chassis the opposite direction so the tongue is back there. Just going to feed out of this front corner right into the hay conveyor. So yesterday we had to do a little bit of work to gear this back a little more. Put this gearbox on here to slow it down a little bit. We're happy with the speed that it's running now. We want to fill it up with hay today. Actually get it lined up over this conveyor. Start running it, make sure it's going to work for Monday. So it's pretty handy. All we got to do is unplug that motor. You can pull it out with the skid loader and then push it back in. So the one issue with this wagon is it's a little bit too tall for our skid loader to fill it with hay. We kind of like to not cut a bunch off the side of it. What my dad's doing right now, he's building a little bit of a ramp out there. Just a little ramp for the skid loader to get it up a little higher. If we had a high dump bucket, that would work, but I'm not gonna buy one of those just to load hay into this box. So we got all the camera wires coming off the unloaders, zip tied up to the conduit, goes through the wall there. And then I brought them all through right there. So I'm just gonna zip tie these up against the wall, keep it clean. Should be fairly easy to maneuver that wagon with the skid loader. The only thing is it's hard to see exactly where the end of the wagon is. We're gonna have to somehow mark in here so we know where to drive it when we go to park it. This may end up not working the best for us, but it's worth a try. Could dig a hole, that'd be the other option, but it'd fill up with water. If this ends up working out, we'll put hay in these first 2 bays. These were always for corn and supplement mix, but we're not going to need them for those ingredients anymore. We could get some heavy blocks, kind of build a straight wall, just be a little bit more solid right at the edge where the skid loader drives, and then we can build it up a little bit higher. We feed a little bit of this hay to the milking cows, mainly use it for the dry cows and a little bit to the heifers as well. We buy large square bales of this grass hay, it's fairly affordable. We get someone in to chop it for us. Yeah, this is gonna work. We're gonna have to build that ramp up a little bit higher and make it a little more solid, but keep coming, that's good. That looks really good. I think we're close enough. So I'm gonna get the mixer underneath the conveyor so we can run it out into the mixer. We actually have the 4240 on the mixer because our 7130 was giving us trouble the other morning. It was like, let's just get through the next 3 days and then we're good, but no, it had to give us some issues. I think it just needs a fuel filter though. I don't think it's anything too serious, but we just switched the other tractor on. The first batch we're gonna mix this afternoon will be for the dry cows, which gets some hay in it, so we'll just start running some hay. I'll turn the hay conveyors number 4. And I'll start up the hay box. Oh. Got a little slug here at the beginning. It might need to be. There was just some piled in the right off the bat there, but I think we'll be good once we get going here. Let's see what it does now that it's opened up. I think we need to be a little bit closer. Now we can adjust the speed of the web. We'll speed this up a little bit. Get the web going real slowly. There, it's falling down now. So it seems to be working. We might have to adjust some things. This is why we stuck that exhaust fan in the wall there, because it's pretty dusty. It's going to be set up that exhaust fan is just going to turn on when the hay runs, and then it'll stay on for whatever amount of time we want to set it at after. Yeah, I think this funnel we're going to want to modify, get this end higher so it doesn't catch on here. This is our dry cow mineral and then heifer mineral. I think we're going to normally get it in the bags. It'll just be a little bit easier to dump those in versus scooping it out of the tote. Well, I just put 200 pounds in. It's maybe half full. So that's enough for 8 days. So pretty happy with the capacity. We could do that job every 2 weeks. Everything's done now that I can do today, setting up for Monday. So I'm going to show you guys how the feeding's going right now using these new silo boxes. They're pretty handy. They're working really well. These were built by Slaymaker. The one guy from Slaymaker is going to be here on Monday. He's going to help us set up everything with the control box for the conveyors. We got to get all the timers straightened out. I'm not sure exactly how these communicate together. These are doing the auto lowering, and I put the time in here, how long it takes the ring to go around the silo, and then once it gets around, it automatically lowers down a little bit, and you can adjust the time it lowers. And it has some different features. It's pretty handy. So my next video is going to be the startup day for this robot system. I'm excited about it. I'm not sure. It might take a little while to get everything straightened out, and I don't know how much I'm going to be able to explain what's going on that day. I'm just going to be trying to learn as best I can and understand how the system works and the adjustments we have to make. I'm still kind of nervous about starting the system up. I'm expecting to have some trouble with certain details. Everything is fairly simple as far as each ingredient. What needs to happen is just there's a lot of different things all working together. So if you have one weak link in the chain, then it won't work. I'm happy with how the silos are working. They're feeding out really consistent on their own. You just hit the start button and they go. So I can see how the robot could work pretty well with those unloaders. That's giving me some confidence. The conveyors are working well. The bin augers, we had tested all of those. They're good except this one premix agitator is not working right. That motor, it's not spinning the agitator in there, so I don't know. I'm not sure if it's a power issue or a motor issue. The molasses works really good. The hay box seems to work. And then it comes down to the actual mixers being able to drive around and feed, and for the most part, they were working really well when they were pushing last week, other than that one issue spot, but we made an adjustment. So Monday morning, my dad's going to feed the cows like normal, and then we're going to start trying to mix for the heifers. There in the middle of the day, we'll do the heifers and the dry cows, and then start mixing cow feed. So let's get to feeding the cows now. Going to mix the dry cow batch first, and what we're doing is we're putting half silage out of the new silo and half out of the ag bag, because we got a little bit left out there. We want to get that finished up. We have all of our conveyor controls on here. 1, 2, 3 are the 3 silos, and then 4 would be for the hay. And then they got some other controls, molasses, water, and the hay box. So I got the elevator going. Now let's start up conveyor number 3 and critical silo. So it's running and it's counting down there, so it's going to automatically lower once it gets down to 0. The amps are running the mid-20s. I'm stopping now. So when I hit stop, the ring actually stops first. It allows it to clean everything out. Once it gets down to 15 amps, then it'll shut off automatically. So the next time it'll start up real easily again. So there's that separate ring drive motor that causes it to actually rotate around. That's controlled separately. So we're done with that, then we'll run silo 2 and the corn silage. So that'll fire up and go to the other. There's the silage silo running now. Smells pretty good. It's gonna get even better as we feed off a few feet of that silo, but the feed is cool, and yeah, the cows seem to like it. They're eating it good. It's just about to lower itself again. So I have this one lowering quite a bit more than the other one because the feed's not very packed. The dry cow batch is finished. This is the batch we use the most hay by far. Got to dilute it down for this dry cows. So. Alright, so I'm back in here loading the trittle cow for the milking cows. It's possible that could have been my last time ever running feed out to that dry cow barn there with the tractor. I'm gonna wrap this video up. We'll see you guys Monday morning when we're starting to work on this stuff. First thing we'll do, once the feeding's done, we're gonna get that conveyor out of there, get the robots back on the chargers, and they're gonna have a little bit of setup work to do before we can start feeding. It's gonna be kind of crazy to see these things run their first batch of feed out. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.